I give it an 8 out of 10. I give it an 8 out of 10. I give it an 8 out of 10. It honestly could have been like a 9.5. Close to a 10 out of 10. If they cut down the Abby part, right? The whole, like, yes, it's cool. It leads into each other, but the whole fact of going to Abby is figuring out like why she's after Joel, stuff like that. They need to cut down on the killing in the Abby part. And they need to have Joel further into the story instead of killing him off in the first hour and 30 minutes. And I think that would have been 10 out of 10. I like how the story looped around. You know? The Abby part is too long. They need to keep all the storyline of Abby, but cut the fucking fighting, dude. It's nothing but filler. Like when you fight literally 6 mobs in a row back to back, it's just filler. There's no story behind it. And then have Joel in the game a little bit more at the start instead of just straight killing him off. I think the game could have been better, but I think the game was great. The moral of the story is that it's not worth losing everything for revenge. It's better to drop it and move on to better things, especially if you have better things going for you.
On a storyboard,
the pacing,
it makes sense. Everything as far as a major storyboard.
There's a fucking notepad.
So when they say that this is where we want to go with the story, these are the beats we want to hit. The issue is, I think, is execution. It required precision and skill and story writing that he clearly did not have, because there's so many issues with believability as far as like the motivations of some of the characters. There's issues with you caring about certain characters because they're not developed particularly well. They're not speaking to each other in a way like they did in the first one. Every moment with Ellie and Joel in the first game is really, really good. And there are moments in here where it is good. Like that flashback scene when they go into the museum is incredible. The last quarter of this game. Oh, yeah, he's a VP. There's a lot of parts of these games, like of the storytelling, that is truly parts of the story that are 10 out of 10. That they do, they have that there. But there's such a huge disconnect between the gameplay and the story, and that is the most important thing for me. Is there's a fucking huge disconnect between the gameplay and the story, because they want you to go, I regret all this violence.
Not just that, but the characters are acting completely opposite of what we know them to act. I've been waiting 7 years in order to be able to re-engage with these characters, and when they come here, they're nothing like the characters that we know. They're done poorly. They're focusing on completely different characters that I don't give a shit about, that you didn't introduce properly to make me care about them in the best way possible. And I'm playing more with them than I am with the characters that I've been waiting to play with. And then at the end of the game, the characters that I wanted to play with are destroyed. They're gone. They're nothing. They're broken or dead. All of them are broken or dead, and all the new characters that I like in this game are dead and gone and broken.
Yeah.
But that's the point. I get it.
It's torture porn.
I get it. It's the world. It's a horrible world. It's the world of Last of Us. The Last of Us. Not the best of us. The worst of us is what it should be called, I guess. Everybody is a piece of shit.
What's interesting about is that some of the 10 out of 10 reviews that I've read is like not a single one mentions
I don't understand
how convenient and contrived and tropey the game. Like if this was a TV show, it would be on the fucking CW. Every time a character's in danger, they get miraculously saved by something. Some of the dialogue is amazing, but some of the dialogue is laughably bad. And the issue is, in a story, this is a narrative, story-driven game, right? And when the story is inconsistent and the narrative is sometimes it's fucking amazing.
No, it's good. Yeah, no.
But sometimes
there's sections
it's not.
of this game. Let me make this clear. It is not a piece of shit game.
No.
Thank you so much, Godfoot. It's not a piece of shit game. That's not what I'm saying. My reaction, my angry reaction, has to do with that ending. It has to do with how the characters were treated. at how I thought maybe I'd get more Joel, like, I don't know, Joel would be around her, Ghost Dad, I don't fucking know, like some touching scene. And that wasn't even a touching scene. I mean, I guess it was an all-right scene, but a scene to end on?
Characters can go out and become their own characters in like believable ways. It's just like everything about this was like super convenient. Like we have to buy that Tommy is dumb enough to sell himself and his own brother. We have to buy that it's convenient for them to travel 880 miles and magically run into these people. And we have to buy all of these little things that if one thing trips up, if there's one point of the game where you're like, I don't buy that, then you're kind of sucked out of the story.
I got sucked out of the story. And I can understand how other people might not have gotten punched out of the story as hard as we did. And then here's the thing. I don't mind being punched out of I do mind being punched out of a story, but you can get me back. And I've done that many times in movie reviews and video games. This one never got me back. That last segment there with Ellie
was gameplay, though.
That was pretty cool, and that's gameplay, and that was awesome. But the game never really got me back. The thing is, it is like one half of the game is great.
You have to wait for
the elements of the game, right? The AI, superb AI, superb graphics, 10 out of 10 animations. It is beautiful. It is the sound, great. The soundtrack, great. Characters is where we have the problem. Pacing is where we have the problem. Story is where we have the problem.
Yeah,
and
like
how much? Oh, combat gameplay, great.
Yeah.
Visceral, brutal, delivers in many of the things that it says it wants to do. Right? Tense and desperate action survival gameplay, beautiful yet dangerous world, and a complex and emotional story that doesn't necessarily mean a great, satisfying story. Now they never say it's going to be a satisfying story. They say, in fact, they said the opposite. It's going to piss people off, and it pissed people off. So
I don't know what to say. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Everyone said the ending was terrible. I wouldn't say it was terrible. It just was. I think everything was a mess, so I don't really like. I had no much expectations after there. I think a lot of it is what I've already said. Like, I think the game had a lot of potential to be really good. Like, it could have been a 10 out of 10. Because it really shines in so many things. If they just changed the order of things, I think it would be a lot better. And then maybe tighten up some parts. It just felt a bit dragged as well. I guess, like, I'd rather play this game than a really mediocre game. Even though I really didn't like it, it still made it fun because it's just like a fucking roller coaster. I don't really care that much about, like, I'm not mad about it. It's not my game. I can't control what's gonna happen. It's not up to me. This is what they wanted to do. They went with it. But what some parts, oh my god, such a meme. Some parts, God, there's so much to think about. They tried something different. I can respect that, and I just don't think it really worked, to be honest. They could have. I feel like they needed more people's input on it. I mean, maybe this is what they really felt strongly about, and fair enough. But I think small adjustments could have really made a huge difference. Like playing Abby in the beginning, the way it played out, even the character development. This is really dark, weird ending where Ellie loses everything. It's just like, okay. Then there's also all the politics and all of it. And there was a lot of good too. Like, having a gay couple in a game that's going to be played everywhere, all across the world, is a good thing. I just wish there was more chemistry. And there was just so much. It felt like all the new character had some sort of social political background to them, which is fine. After a while, it just felt like you're looking at the sock puppet man instead of the sock puppet, and it just takes you out of the game. It just felt a bit much to me. Even though I appreciate what they try to do with it, it just was overwhelming. And I think probably why a lot of people are more forgiving with that stuff, or they like that stuff heavily. It's not like I don't like it, but when I see it, I just find it a bit too much when it sometimes. And I think that's why a lot of news media, they're not paid off. They just really like to praise that sort of stuff, so they're way more forgiving with it. I think that's why there's such a gap between media and player reviews. Give it a rating. Probably like a 6 out of 10. Would make sense, if that matters.
Okay, so I did start simping for Abby by the end of it. I really did. I'm a sucker. I think that they did a really good job with her redemption arc. I would go so far as to say that kind of character development is actually good writing. I know that people are going to sit around and be like, oh, Neil Druckmann is a neoliberal and his fucking game is bullshit or whatever. I know that there's like lefties out there who were... Yeah, I did. I like Abby. Yeah. I liked Abby. I think Abby was a really good fucking character. That was a really great game. Really fucking great game. I've been talking about it already. The combat was awesome. The combat was fucking great. It was beautiful. I am like playing this game. I don't know if you're supposed to not kill every single enemy. I said this earlier, but the mechanics in the combat was so cool that I wanted to do genocide. Okay? Like, maybe that was supposed to be like, you weren't supposed to kill all those people, maybe, and like show their humanity. But I didn't even fucking feel bad about it, even for a brief moment. As a matter of fact, I liked it. When they would call out each other's names as you killed them, I liked it. Now, as far as storytelling goes, I think they did a pretty fucking good job with the story as well. Yeah. Joel's death was unceremonious. Anticlimactic. I get it. And at first I was frustrated, but perhaps that's what was supposed to happen. Because I think in some ways, this game wanted to pull a Kojimbo, Metal Gear Solid 2 style, and wanted to execute Joel like he's a fucking NPC, just so they could introduce new characters and have you fall in love with the new characters. And that might not be the direction that you appreciate, but why the fuck would you be a little crybaby about it? That's not the direction that like, just because you don't like where the story went does not change the reality that it was a good fucking story. And it was a good story. I thought this was gonna be a shit story. Maybe the pacing was a little off at certain times. I thought it was a 9 out of 10 the entire time. I'm a little frustrated by the ending. I wish there was better closure. I do get frustrated when I play through games that punish you on purpose. And this is one of those games. It punishes you. Like the plot is supposed to punish you. And that fucking sucks. Like, it had every opportunity to give you a nice closure, nice ending with closure, making you feel warm inside. And it didn't give you that, which kind of sucks. I wish there was a better ending. I wish the ending was a little bit better, for sure. But overall, great fucking game. And I am so shocked that people fucking hated it. Like, insane. You people who fucking hated this game do not deserve nice games. This is exactly the kind of fucking game that I love. Absolutely love. Absolutely fucking adore. Old school, long fucking stories. It's a great game.
It doesn't make the writing good.
I love the characters. I like the development of the characters. maybe it was a little clunky at first.
You don't love the
As far as like developing certain characters, like especially Abby. But that was a fucking good ass game, dude. So I'll end it with a my
I love the system. I can never
actual
move it in full head.
score out of 10. All the way up to the end, I was like, it's so fucking good, it's so fucking good, it's so fucking good. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it like a 9.5. I mean, not 9, sorry, an 8.5 out of 10 instead of a 9. 8.5. I marked down. I marked down one fucking half of a point in the end because because I fucking hate punishing stories like this. You can turn around and fucking tell me this game sucks till the cows come home.
I have read Naruto fan fiction.
You can turn around and tell me how shitty the story was. It was a great fucking game. Great game. And on top of that, I fucking loved, absolutely loved the fact that there were non-traditional characters in it. I think it wasn't done in an annoying capacity. I think that they played very well. Like adding a trans character in there too. Oof. That was actually good. I hope other fucking video game creators also do shit like this more frequently. And it was a great fucking experience playing the entire game. And I'm not saying this because I'm like, oh my god, like virtue signaling trans people or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. It's new. It's different. It is. It's different. So, very good game. I don't like. I hate it when like there's empty, shallow pandering. I hate it when there's like trash fucking virtue signaling. I'm the first to fucking call it out. I don't think this was like that. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I especially liked Abby. I never thought I would like Abby by the end of this fucking game. And I did. It was a great game, dude. Holy shit. Maybe not as good as The Last of Us 1, but an incredibly good game. And I'm, again, shocked how many people were saying how fucking shitty it was. You can tell me, you can say I'm fucking brainwashed all you want, brother. I guess we have different tastes. The entire fucking time I was playing this game, I was like, when is it gonna suck ass? When is it gonna suck dick? Can't wait for this game to suck dick. I guess it's not gonna suck dick yet. It never sucked. It was a fucking great game. Was it slow at times? Was the pacing maybe a little slow at times? Sure. It wasn't fucking repetitive. It had action sequences. It was beautifully fucking shot. It was beautifully acted. It was a really good fucking game. Excuse me. Some of you literally don't deserve good games. Go back to playing fucking Call of Duty every night. Holy shit. Go play fucking FIFA, dumbass. This is exactly the kind of game I fucking love playing. I'm glad that people still make games like this. And more so, I'm glad that they fucking actually spend time and effort because these aren't supposed to. And I'm glad that this did well. I'm glad that it made a fuckload of money too, so that they do continue making games like this.
Wayfaring strange.